I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Twitter at Wise Advice. Send me your comments, your questions, and your celebrations to be included as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points! Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. I want to reach out today and talk to you about the scale. The scale, one of the things I got to say is don't trust your scale. Trust the process. Because what's important in this journey is that we don't give up on the process. A lot of times, the scale lies to us. And so, as you know, I've been gone for 7 days, came in, hopped up on the scale. I was up 9 pounds. Overnight, the difference between two weigh-ins, if you go to FatDag.com and click on my weight entry, you'll see that the difference from one day to the next, I lost 5.7 pounds overnight. Now, we know that's dang near impossible to do. So here's why that's important, and here's what you need to know from that is from the difference between one day and the next, 5.7 pounds, I didn't do anything different. I just simply tracked. So if you're going into a weigh-in, if you're hopping into your meeting, and the night before you ate a bigger meal than you may have, even though you're still on plan, you're still within your points, that's going to show up on the scale. And a lot of times we get defeated by that weigh-in, and then that causes us to get really upset when we see a gain number on the scale, and it really derails the process. So I want you to look at that in a sense where I want you to see, in my scenario, gone for a week, didn't do so well with the tracker, came back up 9 pounds. If that 9 pounds would have set me off, if that would have derailed me, it wasn't a true 9-pound gain. Because the very next day, with nothing more than just a simple tracking, staying on accountability, staying on the plan, I was down another 5.7. So my entire vacation put me up a little over 3 pounds. 3 pounds we can work with. 3 pounds is easy enough, with a lot of focus and a lot of discipline to track it down to get it back into where I need to be. So here's what I want you to know is that you can do this. But you've got to stay mindful to the process. You've got to stay engaged to the process. You've got to stay focused to the process and not let the little bits of data trip us up. And if you don't let that data trip you up, if you look at the trend line, if you look at your tracking and you say you're doing everything properly, then it doesn't matter what the scale says on that one particular moment. It's just a moment in time that tells you exactly how much you weighed at that exact instant. It doesn't define you. It doesn't tell you who you are. It simply says at this exact moment, this is what the scale reads out. You could hop on the scale 2 hours later and get a completely different reading. If you're following the trend line, month to month, week to week, you will see a gradual decline, and that is what we're after. That is where we know we've had successes. When you look back at a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and you see that you're down 10, you're down 15, you're down whatever the number is, that's what we need to celebrate. So don't let that one number trip you up. And that's what I've done, and that's what's continuing to work for me is following that trend line, tracking it down, and taking care of business. So very good work there. A couple quick things, real cool stuff in the email box. I always ask you guys to send me your celebrations, send me what's going on great in your weight loss journey, and we'll talk about it. Because a lot of stuff we do this better together. We know we can't survive in this community all alone. We're a community of folks who are doing this together. We're all in the same boat. Sure, we're going to get there different ways. We're going to do things a little differently along the way, but it's nice to know that we have the support of others who are doing the exact same thing. So Sally, the first up, Sally weighed in, and she's down to her 10%. Good job, Sally. That is really cool. 10%. We talked about that a lot. 10% is it's that effort where you say, I'm focused, I'm disciplined, I'm tracking, I'm following the plan, and I've done it for such a long time now that I've lost 10% of my body weight. That's incredible. That's great. So if you've done that, and Sally, you have, if you've done that, and those of you out there listening, if you can do that, you can do anything. You can reach goal. The difference between 10% in goal is just timing. The difference between 5% and 10% is just timing. The commitment is the same. The effort is the same. The discipline is the same. So Sally, one of the things that she credits is she set an attendance goal, and she's striving to stay mindful and stay focused. And that's very, very much the way to do this. So you got to keep your head in the game above all else. You got to stay mindful. You got to stay focused to the process, and then you too will get your 10% and get down. So great job, Sally. Really proud of you there. Good job. Christy out of Illinois. This is her third attempt joining Weight Watchers. She's down 18 pounds on the most recent effort and also hit her 5%. So Christy, great work there. We just said 5% is that first real reward where you know you've done something, where you can see, physically a reward for your discipline, your focus, and your ability to knock this program out. So Christy, 5%. Great work there. Keep up the great job. Your next goal be your 10%. The difference between 5%, 10%, we just said, was nothing more than timing. So stick with the timing. You can definitely get there, get to your 10%, and then eventually onto goal, and then to lifetime. So in Christy's email, she asked a quick question that says, in lifetime, what are your daily points? Right now, she's at 42 points, and she can't imagine only getting 35. And Christy, one of the beautiful things about this plan, one of the things that I credit to my success is that the fact that I started off with a higher point number enabled me and allowed me to learn and taught me how to eat properly. So what's going to happen is you just hit your 5%. You will slowly lose a point or two at each weigh-in, or as you continue to lose weight, your points will start going down. And that's going to teach you to make slightly better choices in the future. Now, if we would have said on day one, hey, listen, you start at 35 points, you have to work out, and here's what your goal weight is, and you only get 35 points, no one would be able to sustain this program. It would be very difficult. Most of us would want to give up because it's too dang hard to make all of those sacrifices at one time. All of those lifestyle changes at once coming at you is extremely difficult to manage. So it's coming at you slowly. You're starting with 42 points currently. At some point, you'll go down to 41 points. Taking 1 point out of your day is very easy to do. You can find a way to do that. You go on for a week or two, taking another point out of your day. Very easy to do. Before you know it, you're down to 35. So for me, I went from 49 down to 34, 35, and I can't imagine getting 49 points a day now. It was a gradual change for me. I made a lot of great choices along the way, and I learned how to eat properly and eat healthy so that those healthy choices stick with me for a long time. So Christy, great job on your 5%. There's the answer to your question. You can do this. Everyone can do this. This plan is not difficult in a sense. It's extremely difficult to build a habit. It's extremely difficult to change our lifestyle. But following the plan and sticking with it becomes easy when you develop the habits and you want it to get it done. If you want to stay focused, and you do stay focused, you can do this. So great work there. Oceanside, New York writes in, Beth writes in, and guess what? Beth is at her goal weight. Good job, Beth. She's down 75.2 pounds, and man, that's incredible. She hit goal. There is nothing like stepping on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode. When you see that number hit and you know you've met your goal weight, man, that's freeing. The amount of freedom, the pressure that's just released at that exact moment can only be described when you get there. And so, Beth, I'm so happy for you. You've got to feel great. I can tell through your writing. I think there's 18,000 exclamation points in your email, so I can see the excitement, even though it comes through via text. And I love your motto. Never forget why you started. Never miss a Monday night meeting, and you love your Weight Watchers squad. And that right there sums it all up, is we can't do this alone. Your team got you here. You got here, with them. your Monday night meeting folks, all of you, great job. 75.2 pounds. That's significant. That is intense focus, intense discipline, and that's staying true to the plan. And so that's how you reach your goal, Beth. And man, I'm so happy for you. So great job with that, and keep up the great work. Now on to Lifetime, and don't give it back. Absolutely. Yeah, do not give this back. Stick with it. This is for life. You can do this. You're doing it. Very cool. David writes in, David just completed the Chicago Shamrock Shuffle, did an 8K in 44 minutes and 44 seconds. He ran a 9-minute mile. And what was really cool, not too bad considering he just started running in September. So, that's the fitness part of this journey, is we don't have to start out, running from day one. We can slowly ease into it. So David's down a total of 71 pounds, 4 pounds to goal, and then on to Lifetime. And he's now running 8Ks and 44 minutes, 9-minute miles, but he didn't do that 71 pounds ago. So you don't need to do this 71 pounds ago. All you need to do is start walking, start slowly. Just add some attendance into your process and say, every day I'm going to walk a little further. I'm going to walk a little faster. But set an attendance goal, not the performance goal, and you too will get to your goal. So, David, great job there. That's incredible. 71 pounds is great work as well. You obviously are rocking the plan. You know how to do it. You're getting it done, and proud to be on your team. Way to get it done. So, folks, what are you celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go ahead and go to FatDag.com, click on podcast, send in your celebrations, your comments, and your questions, and I'll work them all into the show. You can also send them in via Twitter at WiseAdvice. Lastly, if you prefer, you can call them in, leave me a voicemail. I'll work into the show as well. I'll splice in the audio. Go ahead and be clear. Use your username on Connect at the beginning. I'll cut out some of that, and I'll add it all into the feed. The number there is 317-662-4214. I'll throw it in the bottom of the show notes so you can just click down there. But there's all kinds of ways. Go to Facebook.com. Click on Facebook.com WiseAdvice, Twitter WiseAdvice. Reach out to me on Connect using the hashtag WiseAdvice. Send me in your celebration, because I believe that we are better together. I believe that the celebration part of this is what keeps us going. Knowing that we're out there together, we're working together, we are committed to each other is what gets us there. So, without a doubt, you have the ability to do this. You've got to stay focused and disciplined, and you can get there. So that's going to do it for this time. Remember, like I just said, losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. It's all about remaining disciplined, remaining focused. Set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you good focus.